Every car you've ever seen is hiding a flaw, not a small one, a fundamental one. Think about this. When a car turns, its wheels don't want to move the same way. One needs to go farther, one needs to go slower. And for over 100 years, engineers solved that problem with a mechanical compromise, a spinning system of gears buried under your car. We called it the differential. We treated it like genius, like it was the only way. But here's the uncomfortable truth. It never actually solved the problem. It just worked around it. And now, for the first time in history, we don't need that workaround anymore, because software just replaced one of the most important parts ever built into a car. To understand why this is a big deal, you have to rewind to the very beginning of cars, back when vehicles were simple, crude, and honestly, kind of terrible at turning. The problem was obvious. When a car goes around a corner, the outside wheel travels a longer path than the inside one. That's just geometry. But early cars didn't account for that. Both wheels were forced to spin at the same speed, so what happened? They dragged, they slipped, they fought the road. Handling felt unstable. Parts wore out quickly. It wasn't just inefficient, it was physically wrong. So engineers came up with something brilliant, the differential, a purely mechanical system that lets two wheels spin at different speeds while still being powered by the same engine. No electronics, no sensors, no software, just metal-solving physics. And for its time, it was revolutionary. It turned a broken system into something usable, something scalable, something that built the entire automotive industry. Over time, it got better, smarter, more refined. Open differentials became limited slip systems, clutches were added, torque biasing improved performance. Companies like Porsche pushed mechanical engineering to its limits. Off-road icons from Toyota made differentials strong enough to survive extreme terrain. From the outside, it looked like progress, iteration, optimization, but under the surface, nothing fundamental had changed. Because the differential doesn't control anything, it reacts, it doesn't decide, it negotiates. It splits torque based on resistance, not intent. And that subtle limitation is where everything starts to break. Because driving isn't just about letting wheels spin differently. It's about controlling how they interact with the road constantly. And that's something mechanical systems were never built to do. So instead of solving the problem, the industry kept layering complexity on top of it, more parts, more friction, more weight, all trying to perfect a solution that was never truly perfect to begin with. For over a century, that compromise was accepted, until something changed, not in metal, but in code. Here's where things get uncomfortable. Because to understand why the differential is disappearing, you have to understand what it was never designed to do. Turning isn't a geometry problem. When a car turns, it's not just about different wheel speeds. It's about grip. Every tire creates force through something called slip. Not slipping out of control, but microscopic deformation between rubber and road. That's where traction comes from. And here's the key. Each wheel needs a different amount of torque, at a different speed, at every moment, based on road surface weight, transfer, steering angle, vehicle speed. This isn't geometry, it's real-time physics, and that changes everything. The illusion of control. A traditional differential does one thing well, it allows speed difference. But it doesn't control torque. That decision isn't calculated, it just happens. In an open differential, power flows to the wheel with the least resistance, which means one wheel on ice, one wheel on dry asphalt, and all the power goes to the one slipping. That's not just inefficient. That's backwards. Engineers tried to fix it. Limited slip systems, clutch packs, advanced mechanical designs, even in cars from Porsche. But all of them share the same flaw. They react after the problem starts. They wait for slip, then respond. And that delay, even if it's tiny, is critical. Why milliseconds matter. At highway speed, a car moves incredibly fast. At 120 kilometers per hour, that's over 33 meters per second, which means even a tiny delay matters. D equals V times T. D equals V times TD equals V times T. In just milliseconds, the car has already moved significantly before the system reacts. That's not control, that's correction. And correction is always too late. That's why stability systems rely on braking. And not because it's efficient, but because it's the only way to override a passive system. The truth. Nobody says out loud. The differential isn't a precision tool. It's a compromise, a brilliant one, but still a compromise. It exists because at the time engineers had no alternative. No computation, no sensors, no real-time control. So they encoded physics into gears. And it worked. Until it didn't. Because the moment real-time computation entered the equation, everything changed. This is where the story shifts. Completely. From sharing power to creating it. For over a century, engineers asked, how do we split power between wheels? But modern EV architecture asks, what if we never had to split it at all? What if each wheel had its own power source? No axle, no connection, no compromise, just independent control. Software becomes the drivetrain. In traditional cars, torque is limited by hardware. In EVs, torque becomes software. Each wheel is controlled independently. Each motor has its own brain, its own data, its own decisions. Companies like BYD and Tesla aren't asking, how do we send power? They're asking, what does each wheel need right now? 1,000 decisions per second. Modern systems don't wait. They calculate. Up to 1,000 times per second, per wheel, using data from sensors, steering input, motion dynamics, road conditions. This isn't reactive. So, it's predictive. The car doesn't fix mistakes. It prevents them. Torque becomes physics in motion. Instead of braking to stabilize, the system can actively shape motion. Tau equals R times F backslash tau equals R backslash times F, tau equals R times F. It can push one wheel, pull another, generate rotation on demand. Not as a side effect, but as a controlled outcome. The car doesn't fight instability. It never enters it. Efficiency. Through elimination. Remove. Drive shafts. Differentials. Gearboxes. And you remove friction inertia. Energy loss. Power flows directly. Battery to motor to wheel. That's why efficiency jumps dramatically. Not because we improved the system, but because we deleted it. The hidden shift cars are no longer mechanical machines with software added on. They are software systems with hardware executing commands. The intelligence isn't in the parts, it's in the code. And once that happens, engineering changes forever.
The moment it becomes obsolete. So the real question isn't, can software replace the differential? It already has. The real question is, why would you ever go back?
This isn't just a tech upgrade, it's a structural disruption. Legacy companies like Toyota, Volkswagen, and Ford are built around mechanical systems. Entire supply chains depend on parts that may no longer be needed. Suppliers like Magna International and BorgWarner built empires on components now being phased out. Meanwhile, companies like BYD skipped the old system entirely. They didn't upgrade the differential, they removed the need for it. That's not evolution, that's replacement. For over 100 years, the differential was seen as a masterpiece, a clever solution to a real problem. And it was. But it was also a product of limitation. Today, those limitations are gone. Cars don't just move anymore. They think, they predict, they decide in real time. The differential didn't fail. It simply became unnecessary because the problem it tried to solve no longer exists. And when that happens, even the most iconic technologies don't get improved. They disappear.